How's it going, everyone? And thanks for tuning in to another episode of Assembly Tool Specialists. My name's John, and in today's video we have another gap and flushness gauge. Now, some people say that a 4-leaf clover is good luck, but how about a 6-leaf clover? This is our Nomar gap and flushness clover gauge. So looking closer at this gauge here, you can see that on the top side we have our flushness markings, and on the back side we have our gap markings. Now turning it back over, we have this rotating 1/2 millimeter leaf. Now what this does, this allows you to add a 1/2 millimeter to your gap check. You can get this gauge with or without this leaf, and you can also get it certified and serialized or reference only. So the best way to really show you how this gauge works is to take you out back and show you in a real world scenario. So now that we're in the back, I want to show you just how easy it is to use this gap and flushness clover gauge. We're going to be starting off using the flushness side, and then I'll flip it over and show you how to use the gap side. So we're going to start off with the flushness here and just set it down. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to check the flushness between these two parts of the hood, and then we're also going to check the gap in between these two parts of the hood. So let's start off with the flushness. All you're going to do is simply set it down on the flat edge and slide it towards the part of the measurement, and you can see there's a little bit of a gap there. So all we're going to do is turn it. There's still a little bit of a gap at 3 millimeter flushness. Now we're going to turn it again to 2 millimeter. Now that is nice and tight. So that means that this flushness in between these 2 points is 2 millimeter. Now this isn't going to scratch like all of our other gauges because it's made of a Nomar material. Now the same goes for the gap side. You can see here we have all of our gap measurements. So what you're going to do is simply turn it over to, let's start at a 5 millimeter here. And that is too thick. So we're just going to roll it and go to a 4. Now there is some playroom in between there, which means it's somewhere in between 4 and 5. So that's where this 1/2 millimeter leaf comes into play. We're simply going to rotate it to the 4 millimeter and turn that into a 4.5. Now let's try that again. Now that is nice and tight, which means that this is a 4.5 millimeter gap and a 2 millimeter flushness. So as you can see, our Nomar gap and flushness clover gauge is very simple, but yet very, very powerful. And we do have a wide array of plenty of other gauges you could check out right on our website at assemblytoolspecialist.com. And if you want to see more videos like this, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.